Welcome back to Satisfactory. My name is Nilaus, and we're continuing on our release journey here. Continuing into, I think we can kind of call it late game, not end game. End game is tier 9, but late game is tier 8. We're sort of roaming around. I feel that when you get aluminium going like we did last time, then you're pretty well set, and it absolutely looks gorgeous. The fact that this is just one blueprint stamped down 9 times is glorious to me. Here we have the belts coming in. They're just flowing and they're going in and they're happy and they are all producing. There's like green light on everything except this part because this is getting not enough. So that means now we have lots and lots of aluminum on the bus. So then the tempting thing is, what are we going to do with all that beautiful stuff? Like, there's so many things we can do. We can do heat sinks, and we can do control units, radio things, and supercomputers, and all that weird stuff. However, I can't really do that when I'm hovering here at 5 gigawatt of usage, when all I have is sometimes dipping as low as 6.7. So that means we're going to be having to do some power. So what I was thinking about when thinking about what kind of power, then I was thinking nuclear. That's going to be awesome. That's what we wanted to see. We wanted to do some nuclear power plant, and then we want to put it into a blueprint. The thing is, the 5x5 blueprint cannot even contain a nuclear reactor, so that kind of didn't feel great. Plus, when it comes to nuclear power, then you need a lot of alternate recipes. So instead I was thinking, well, what about if we unlock the radio control systems, so we get the blender, and then we unlock the the advanced, so that we get this nitrogen gas tank. I think we would actually want to unload this one. Now we do need some radio control units here that we can't do yet. Can we? I don't even know if can we do that? No, we can't do radio control units yet. Because we don't have... This one is the one that gets us radio control. So we have to get this one, and then we have to get... where was it? Here. In order to get the nitrogen gas. Why do we want the nitrogen gas? Well, we have some things to unlock here. We have that one. We want to do rocket fuel, but in order to unlock this, we actually need this tank canister. So we now have a chain of things we want to unlock rocket fuel, and we want to unlock an alternate recipe for rocket fuel. But in order to do that, we have to get a few things done first. We go, we got the next upgrade.
Milestone reached.
Yeah. And then the last research that we absolutely need for the construction here.
Rocket.
Okay, so now we've... Oh, look at that, by the way, look at that beautiful color the factory has gotten. That is thanks to the patrons, the Twitch hype train support. We are now ready to go out and build some things. Now, we have the issue that we do not have the recipe yet, so... What we need to do is we need to grind some more hard drives. So let's start grinding those damn hard drives. And then whenever we get something here, we reroll and then hope we get something better. We have a lot of new recipes because we've got all the cooling devices, the radio controllers, the supercomputers, the electromagnetic rods, all the stuff that we have. But what we're looking for is a recipe called a nitro rocket fuel, because with that it's gonna get super amazing. So we can't really do any design until that's done. Luckily I can just skip forward until we magically get that, and then we can do the design work. We finally have our alternate rocket fuel recipe, so let's take a look at it, because this is amazing. Why is it so amazing? Well, if we look at the default rocket fuel first, then that comes from let's open it here. This comes from turbo fuel. I don't know why it says 6,000 and 10,000. I don't know. That's confusing me. So it comes from here. It comes from turbo fuel and nitric acid. Nitric acid, I can't even make it yet. See, don't have the recipe, but I know that it's nitrogen, which is pumped out of the ground, and water, and then also iron plates. The fact that it's iron plates as well makes it really annoying. That means it's not something I can easily put into a module. It's also something that just has to be its own factory and then transported somewhere over long distances, and that's just bad. Turbo fuel is also rather annoying because it's not on top of the fuel, which will come from the diluted fuel, which is simple, but then it also needs compacted coal, which means it's coal and sulfur into an assembler to make it. That's not great. So we are you really want to get something else. So it's kind of the same items, right? This one comes from some nitrogen. We have nitrogen as a base resource here, and turbo fuel comes from coal and sulfur, which is what we have here. So it's kind of sort of breaking it down a little bit and then making it sort of simpler. Really good, but this compacted coal, I'll just treat it as trash for this build. So that is the recipe we want to do. So that means we need to make one blender for the nitro fuel, we need to make one blender for the diluted fuel, and then we need one refinery for the, where is it here, this one, the heavy oil residue. So those are the three alternate recipes we need to use. And let's start by looking at the blueprint. When we start working on blueprints, this is the time for me to say, thank you to all the patrons who are supporting the channel. It's super amazing, and my gift to you is that I will neatly wrap up these blueprints and give them to you. Of course, if you're not a patron, you can still see how it's been done, and you can build it yourself, and you can make it as nice as you want. I am focusing on visibility and sort of readability of these designs. And therefore it's a very open design, but you're welcome to actually take all these designs and just make really cool integrated factories. I would actually encourage you to do that. That's just not the purpose of this series. So we're going to start with the nitro rocket fuel here, and we need to see, I'm going to put it like this, and I need 4 inputs here. So I need to get some belts, some belt elevators in here, but I also need some other things on the outside. Does this seem like a good place? I'm gonna go with a yes. And then that will be the nitro here. That is 100 fuel inbound and 100 sulfur inbound. So, and I'll do rotate here and then see if that's the right place. Nope, it's too close to the middle. There we go. We kind of had to, or not have to, but want to rotate around the middle so it looks a little bit neat. There we go. That's good. This one will make the diluted fuel, which comes out at 100. And then that can go and in here. Good. Then we need to have a way to make the heavy oil that is needed, and I will use something like this, and it just needs to go from here into there, so there's plenty of room for this. I think I want to go a little bit closer here, and so I have a little bit of room. This is where we need to get the oil inbound. Yeah, and I don't want to be cramming that too much. Let's just take it one further in. I think then that's much better room. Yeah, let's do that. Good. So this will now be making heavy oil residue, which comes in 30 and gets out 40. So I want this to be out as 50, because then the whole thing is at balance. That means we are, for this module, we're using 37.5 oil, and 37.5 oil means that if we sort of wanted to go absolutely insane, then we could take a full pipe of 600 crude oil, and then we could make 16 of these modules. That's probably more than we can handle. We're going to be focusing on 6 modules. The reason why we want to focus on 6 modules, which is 225 oil, is because the water here is 6 times 10. 6 times 100 is 600, which is 1 pipe of water coming in. Here, 6 times 100 sulfur is 600 sulfur. This is exactly what we can get out of a pure node. So that's also sort of balanced as well. And then the fuel will come out as 6 times 150, that's 900, so we need to get it out on 2 pipes. So we have to keep that in mind, that we need to make sure that the design we do on the below ground can also handle that. So let's start working on the piping and belting here. That should be pretty simple. Let's start from the beginning. That's a great place to start, actually. And this will be here. I want to do this horizontal to vertical whenever I can. So that comes in nice and easy. That's the heavy oil, so we'll have to figure that out. Then that comes out as 2 things. The main one, the fuel that we need, and then it comes out as junk, which I just throw down here. There we go, that's the junk. And we also have a MAM research. We just keep scanning these. Uranium fuel units, I take it. Thank you, awesome. And then we start another one, and we're kind of already running out of these. Okay, so that's all of the fuel. So the next one is going to go the heavy oil residue, which we got, and plus the water coming in. So that means we just need an input here. That's going to be that one. There we go. So that means water comes in here. All right. So that will get us the diluted fuel. The diluted fuel will now be going out on this belt. And 1, 2, 2, and there. So what do we need in this one? This is way more complicated. So we got the fuel inbound, then we get the nitrogen gas inbound. So let's get that over here. That was also easy. And then we need stuff inbound here, there, and there. And that's going to be rotating. Inbound, inbound. What are we going to get outbound? We're going to get the rocket fuel and we're going to get the compacted coal. So let's start with the compacted coal, because in this design, this is just going to be considered trash. I'm going to do that and see if it fits. There we go. It fits. Great, because that looked much nicer when I do that one as well. Perfect. So that is all the stuff above ground. Then let's do the stuff below ground, because that's on the engineering floor. This is always a little bit more complicated, and especially here because we have 4 pipes and 3 solids. We technically have 4 solids because we have 2 waste products, but I'm going to put those on the same belt. This is going to be the inputs and outputs. And let's start with this part. So we're going to get the splitter in here, and I am going to build it somewhere over here, because that is where that one. And then the other one, its friend, there. All right. And then we need the return goods. That is just trash here. And that is that one and that one. Okay, good. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, that's perfect. Nice. Take that out. And the other trash is here. And if you want to use the trash for something, be my guest. I just don't want to do that. There, that goes in. This one goes in. I'm going to use Mark 5 belts for all of this. This is going to be at ground level. This is going to be at level 1 here. That one. That one. And now we're actually getting the sense of what it looks like to be sort of playing on a normal mode, where it's just a lot of flickering back and forth because I'm sort of space constrained. This is one of the primary reasons why I've chosen to have this YouTube series being with flight mode, is because then it gets a lot less erratic. I get a lot of comments that people get nauseous from just watching streams of Satisfactory, which is such a shame. Maybe because my audience is a little bit more mature and just don't want to be sort of all that flickering. I don't know. I also find it erratic, way too erratic to keep up with all this, because especially since you have to do so much as when you're building, you want to build it fast. So that means we now have to fit in the pipes. They can be fit in on the top level here, and they can be fit in on the bottom level here. So what we want to do is we want to figure out what is the best ways to do this. So over on this side here, does that seem right? I'm not on the right side. Oh, I need to be over on this side. Yeah. This is the sort of the input side. Not that it matters from pipes, but it just kind of makes sense for me to do that. So we got all of the belts constrained and set up and all that stuff. So that's nice. And so what should we start with? We should start with the first one. That's a pretty good place to start. That's going to be here. So you can be at ground level or level 1. And I'm going to put it out on this side. Does that seem okay with you? Nope, does not. There and there. Okay, so if I go this, that's nice. And then it just continues there, so it can link to the next one. And this one is close enough that I just link it to the next one. So that's the first one. The second one is going to be water. Water I want it on the ground, on the top floor, because I want it on the second floor, because I want the output here to be on the ground floor. So let's do the ground floor thing first. Does that work? Or is that too close? That is too close. Yes, it's too close. Okay, so this is no good. Here maybe? Ooh. Nope. Yeah. Oh, I misplaced it. Yeah, this is why we use there. Good. So that works, but I need to make sure that this is the rocket fuel, so that it has to be able to come out on 2 different belts. So I can also just make a belt here, and then, you know, that's perfectly fine. Or pipe, sorry. That means nothing else on the ground floor. Over here. Oops. And that goes There we go. That is one more. And then the last one is the water. That's not even the last one. Oops. I can just make it on top of this. I think that's the best place to make it. Let's do 1, 2. And then it should be on top here. That's correct. And then I move it into on top of the other one. Yes. And then I link it in. Perfect. Oh yeah, that actually works quite neatly. No clipping, no nothing. Go on the other side and get it out. Yep. There. So those are the 3 output pipes or input-output pipes here. And I will need to be able to have one more for the rocket fuel out. So the last one we have is here. That's going to be, I know that's going to be a problem. I know that. We've done this before. I'm going to get one of these and is that the right place? It is the right place that way. And where do we want it? I can't even see it if that's the right place. It's now not aligned to anything. Ugh, I actually wanted it to be aligned somewhere else. Like this would be much nicer. Right? Then it's aligned here. Good. I'm putting this in here. So now we do this part, which is not going to work. Look at that. I know that some people would accept this. Not me. None of the other ones actually do anything beneficial. So what we do, there is hope for us yet. We do. Ta-da! But then you say, but it's clipping. Then I will say, no, see, there's a floor hole right there. It's going straight through that floor hole. So clearly this is a legal move. There we go. And I will then get that on this side and get up here. And that is it. Perfect. This is up on that. So this is what it looks like. Top and bottom. Now, there are a number of things to do before we just start stamping it down. I need to hook up power. That's easy, but it needs to be done. I will set up some signs so that we know how much this module produces. I will also set signs on each of these so that we can see what you actually need to put in here. Because otherwise, I've already forgotten. Which one? What is this one again? This? I don't know. And then you will also forget. And then I'm going to be coloring the pipes with the colors that match the products that are in them. Just because, hey, it's a cool module, so let's make it a little bit neat for both you and me. There we are. This is a beautiful blueprint. I think it's a little bit of a color circus here, but I think that makes it a lot easier for both you and me to figure out what's going to be on each of the pipes. I can't guarantee that I'll do it for all future blueprints, but damn, does it look nice to have these colors here. Right, and I also just put the tags next to each pipe so you know how much and what goes in, and also up here you can see the collective thing. So that is now saved and we need to implement it. So here is the next big challenge for this build, and that is, where do we build it? We need somewhere that has crude oil, nitrogen, water is easy, and then sulfur and coal. If only there was a space. So I've been putting some silly radar towers. My god, is it annoying that I can't sort of say, don't show me limestone. Like, there's no way to disable this as far as I can tell. Because I don't want to see limestone. But I'd like to see the SAM ore and nitrogen. Right now, I'd like to see sulfur, coal, nitrogen, but nothing else. So can I disable each one? I mean, I can disable all of them, but ugh. Yeah, that's another bad UI thing. Or maybe it's just I don't get how I interact with it. Maybe that's the problem. But if you do know how to sort of make them not show all of it, well, anyway, the thing is, here there's oil. It's bad oil, and medium oil. But we also have a pure sulfur, and we have 2 impure coal nodes. So these 2 impure coal nodes is 150 each. That means it's 300. And this one can be 600, which is exactly what we need for this build. This one is 150, and we need 225. So we just take these 2, and then water is kind of nearby. The only problem is nitrogen. It's right there. I mean, it's a little bit away, but you know, like just whoosh, whoosh, there we go. So this is going to be where we want to build it. So let me fly over there and just set up a little platform for us. So here we are coming up on our location, and this is out here by the newest area, I guess, this area here. There's nice oil here, and we got the oil in there, we got the sulfur up there, we got the coal through that one, and we got the nitrogen back here, and the water below us. So what I've done is I've marked out the location. I have like this sort of the I don't know, just this is where we land and we get stuff in and out, and then we have the design. So what we're going to do now is we are going to stamp down the design, but before that, because remember, this design serves a purpose. It serves the purpose of making rocket fuel. So if we want to make rocket fuel, where are we going to get the rocket fuel to? We're of course going to be putting it into some generators. And let's have a look at these generators to see how much they consume. So in terms of rocket fuel, they consume the burn rate of 4.167. That is not much compared to the 20 for normal fuel, and that. So it means this burns slowly. That's a problem. Why is it a problem? It's a problem because we have 900 rocket fuel, and then we have to divide it by the burn rate. That means that we need 216 fuel generators. That's kind of a lot. That's kind of a lot. So we're definitely, and you can see I brought a lot of power shards with me. There we go. I'm just gonna up it by 2.5. So we can divide it by 2.5 again. So that's 86.4, which to me means 88. And that means we can divide that by 4, and that means it's rows of 22. So I need 4 rows of 22. And then the beautiful thing would be that if we could make a blueprint for it, but the way I'm formulated, you can already hear that that's not possible. It fits so damn perfectly in here. It is glorious. Like, look at that, and it is just so absolutely gorgeous in here. Look at that. Perfect fit. Except there's not really any space left for us to bring pipes in and out. So this will unfortunately just be one of those things that I have to deal with myself. And I tried to make a blueprint that saved a little bit of time, but I didn't really feel that it got us anywhere. So that's something that I just have to set up, and I will be... the first thing we want to do is, of course, stamp down the blueprint, because that's the most rewarding thing when you build a nice, cool blueprint, is to set it up. And we need to rotate it so that it is facing towards us. That is like this. It is aligned towards our platform, and you can see that the sign is facing towards us. That means that's the input. Always want to build it that way. For me, that's the only thing that really makes sense. I'm just gonna nudge it into place. There we go. That's one more. That's 2. Oh, I lost it. There. And boom. And blueprint mode doesn't work for this because they need a slight overlap here. Damn, I'm just smashing it down. Clipping? Yeah. I know we're clipping. But it's beautiful clipping. There we go. Just like that. We just built all of that. But we're not quite done yet. We're not quite done. Because there is this part about extra fuel. Oh, they're just not colored yet. Oh, that sort of takes time. That looks... Oh, they're good. Let's turn on the flashlight. Right. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we actually have a separate pipe that's coming in here on this line next to it. That means the first... These are actually going to have to be taken out. They need to be moved over here. I could make a separate blueprint for this, but come on, this is fine. There, and this will go in like that, and like that, and that's also has to be sort of perpetuated all the way down to the next one. That's going to be for the first 3 of these. Is it here? Was that where I decided it to be? Probably. That one. And then you take that out and go in from here to here. And the next one as well. What we also need to do, and then that's further down the line, and let's take some of these other ones where they just have to be connected. So we just go through the connection principle here. So it's easy to connect the pipes first. So first we have nitrogen connection, we have water connection, we have rocket fuel connection, we have crude oil connection, and then we go over to in here. Then we have, oh, that's not it. We have coal connection, we have sulfur connection, and we have the residuals, and then we lastly have the power connection. So with that done, we can now hook up everything we want. What we also need to do is get water inbound and then build all of these. Let's just have a look at how I want to do this. That's still just going with the default. Zoop, we want to soup it. And since they are 2.5 wide each of these, then we need 5 lanes for 2 generators next to each other. And then of course we need 1 more lane in between, so that's 5 plus 5 is 10, 11, 12, there we go, something like that. And there. So the middle of everything is the middle of this lane, and that means we need to get our power plant like this. What if we build it completely out, as far out as we can? There. And then I rotate it, and then it has to go, it's aligned, and then it can't go over the middle of this line. So that is enough space. And this. And this. And then we just have to multiply this 22 downwards. We also need to set up some water here as well. And then we need to get this stuff inbound. We have sulfur right up there. And then we can just look at the map, but I like the feel of the ping when it comes in. Look at that, there's slugs everywhere that I haven't picked up. There we go, it's up there. So sulfur, coal, and nitrogen, and oil, and water. Cool. So this is now set up. Everything is colored and aligned, and all these belts are pipes and belts, and all that stuff is set up. There are a few things that are needed so far. That is the connection between all of this. This is insanity. I have deliberately done something weird. I have not done this, which means I have to do that manually afterwards. I have to do it manually at some point. But the reason why is I want to set this up so that it doesn't consume all of the fuel. That's odd. Alright, well that was maybe a little bit overly zealous painting thing. So let's do that one again. Here, and then we realize that I'm missing color for you. Thank you. Good, and then the power. There. So I'm gonna do all of that. So I want this to get started, but not consume as much of the turbo fuel or the rocket fuel as it can, because I want that to be available for sort of filling up the pipes, and then I'll scale up gradually. So that's my intention. I have these 2 pipes here next to each other, and I'm going to go like 1, 2. They will have 450 each, and 1, 2, like that. And then I have the water, which I'll also just send in. The water is going to be a problem. It's producing 300 here. It's producing 300 here. It's not going to get all the way to the end. There's just no way that's going to happen. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to push in this one. I'll put that one in here. There's no need for using anything but the best pump here. So I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be using a lot of pumps for the water, because I just know that is not going to be working. So I'm going to be doing that. This one is almost full of connections. There we go. And then I'm going to use the swatches I have. I have a water swatch. I have carefully not used the swatches for this part here, because then you'd have to have the same swatches set up like I do. And what I mean by that is you'd have to have them colored in the same place. So I just used the custom one. So this should be the same color in your setup without you having this, because I saved them as the color and not as a reference to a particular swatch. That should work. I guess we'll find out. I guess you'll find out, actually. So, the moment of truth, hooking everything up. What do we need to put in first? Let's put in something like the liquids here, and then get that one and that one. And it will almost certainly not... Oh, look at that. That's actually water has already gotten all the way down here. And again, I need to color that one. And, oh, I don't have the last one inbound. There, which also needs a color. There. And does not clip. It's close, but no clipping. And this will just be for our junk coming out here, the resin and the compacted coal. So let's see, the first part here. What are you doing? You don't have a damn bit of crude oil. Why you not have crude oil? I think it might be because I'm just not having enough head lift from back there. So I will just easily just do this. Yeah. And then color that one as well. I think that should solve that issue. Yes. Okay, so that gets enough head lift and it should get all the way down. I don't think it loses pressure. Pipes mechanics, man, they're so weird. And let's move in. So what we see now is we just monitor this. Is it working? Yeah, it's kind of good working. What about you? Hold on. What about you? Yes, you got all the stuff inbound. It's working, but it not. Oh, it is kind of having. It needs 5 for the next one. So I just need to make sure that it goes above 10 before the next one comes in. There we go. Here we have everything coming in. This one's filling up quickly, and it's the fuel is also working. And moving down here, everything seems to be green, so that's perfect. So next question is, do we have some output here? Yeah, this is the gas. Rocket fuel is a gas, it's not a liquid. So you can see the liquids are like this and gases are like this. And gases don't need pumps, but liquids, oh, they need pumps everywhere. And we start seeing some power here. Okay, we're starting to, first of all, we see that our car consumption increases. That's not a big surprise. And then we see all of the consumption up here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let a little bit of time pass so that this is fully saturated. You can see that it can be up to 23 cubic meters, but it's not. And if we just go down here, we can already see at this point this is not saturated enough because it's just not getting anything in. So I need to make sure that the whole pipe network is fully saturated. When that's done, then I'm going to put in the shards, and once the shards are in, then we'll have the full setup. So here we are. This is our final power plant, which will last us quite a while. So now the question is, how much power does this actually produce? Because we're taking 225 oil, 600 sulfur, 450 nitrogen, and 300 coal. So it's not really that much, but it's gonna turn into quite a lot. So let's have a look at it. There. And let's see, it is now stable up at 62 gigawatt of power. And of course we had something before. What we've done here is that this was equivalent to 216 times 250 megawatt each. That's 54 gigawatt of power from this measly part. This is absolutely ridiculous. If we wanted to use the ionized, it would be even more ridiculous. Now at this point I think that how am I ever going to use all that power? But maybe there's going to be something that is needing a lot of power, I would imagine. But you can know that it can actually get a little bit more silly if we like silliness. So let's see, this is not something I need to do, but it's something that I could do if I really felt so inclined. And that would actually be building the stuff that we looked at in one of the previous episodes, like this power augmenter. There, and that goes in here. So how good is the power augmenter? Oh, it gives us just a modest 6,200 megawatt plus another 500, so 6,700 megawatt. That is basically, this entire thing is, this one here alone, of course because of the other one, is covering the needs of our entire factory. So I think that we're, for now, we can say that even without this one, which is pretty absurdly good once you have a lot of power, because 10% of a lot is still a lot. And here we're just making tickets. That's also very nice, and it's just running smoothly. If we look down here, just take a glance, everything is green. I mean, aside from the factories being green, but all these little pins are green, so that means everything is working, and all of the factories generators out here are working. And it all comes from a singular blueprint here. That one is just, this is just our blueprint, and that's the one that's available. I'll be uploading it so that it's available to Patreon supporters, so you can put it in and make your own blueprint, your own design. This is insanely good. I remember how much time I spent on building power plants previously. This is ridiculously efficient. It's so easy to set up all the piping, all that stuff. You just need to connect it and then it works. And if I wanted to do another one, of course I'd have to find in some more sulfur and some more nitrogen, which is not so easy. But if I could find those two things, damn, I'd just double it. That'd be fine, right? Then, but that's this is definitely going to solve our power needs for quite a while. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more factory games around here. Also, make sure to check out Twitch. This is where I'm streaming my my build and designs over on Twitch TV/Nilaus. So until next time, take care, and as always, stay effective.